Hello, my name is Luke Parnell, and I am the designer of Rezbol. Rezbol is a 1 versus 1 or 2 versus 2 print and play board game that uses trick taking and poker hands to play a football type game that takes place over 9 to 18 rounds. In this video, I will explain how to play the game. There is also a companion video called Rezbol Trick Taking Game Print and Play Materials. It shows you the print and play materials and how to use them. This game can be played with a standard deck of cards and some tokens such as cubes, pawns, or meeples, and a small disc of some sort. Everything else can be printed from the files provided. Oh, and you will need a coin. I will now go through the various aspects of the game, from dealing to playing to ending the game. Please enjoy the rest of the video. Deal and striker card. So before you begin, what you'll do is you'll put a striker card on turn 1 and turn 2. Turn 1 is for team 1. Turn 2 is for team 2. So team 1 is 1 and 3. Team 2 is 2 and 4. Now the striker card, so if you're not sleeving the cards, then you will just have the joker card and you'll keep this as a reference for what the striker can do. If you're not sleeving the cards, you won't be having these little movement slips that I included. You can use this as a guide for how your figures move in the board game. So this is a striker card. So it can shoot from anywhere in the offensive zone. It's a trump card, so basically it wins every hand it's in. If two strikers are played in the same hand, there's only 2 in the game, but if you play in the same hand, the second striker wins. It's a wild card in poker hands, but it must equal the highest ranked or lower than. So what that means is, like, if you had like a 3-4 of spades, you wouldn't say that the wild card is the 6 of spades. You say that it's the 3 of spades. So you'd have a 3-4-5 of spades. And for like 3 of a kind, say if you had 2 3s, you could say, okay, this is the third 3, but it wouldn't have a suit. The highest suit would just be the highest suit that you actually have. And that's how the wilds work. Okay, so now we're dealing. We'll deal 9 cards to each space. We're dealing to 6 spaces. We'll be dealing to the 4 player spaces and the shot and save area. So we're gonna skip the 1 and the 2. We'll deal around, but we'll skip the 1 and 2 the first time around. So the first card will go to the 3, there. So that's the first time around. Only 4 spaces got cards because these 2 already have cards. And so now the second time around, we'll just deal it all out like this. And I can keep my mouth shut right now because I'll probably speed this up when I edit it. And that's the deal. Organize your hands before you start the game. So before you start the game, you want to organize, so this is the shot and save hand. So you want to organize it into 3-card poker hands. So right here you got, so I would do something like this. So now you got pair of 7s, pair of aces, 2 jacks of clubs, and this way. You're going to be adding cards to this as the game goes along, so it's a good idea just to get it started. And for organizing your trick-taking hands, there's a striker card. I'll put that in the back. And basically, you just want to organize it by suit. Usually highest to lowest. There you go. And that's how you organize your hands. Moving. Moving your hand is based on the cards you play to a trick. So for example, if turn 1 played the 4, this is team 1 here. Team 1 is the horses. They're moving this way. So to move a 3, they just simply, you move 1, 2, 3, or you move 1, 1, 2, or you could do 1, 1, 1. And then turn order goes this way. So that would be, I'm just doing them randomly. So this would also be move 3, and same thing, move 1, 2, 3, and check them. 1, 2, 1, same thing. And then team 3 would go here. So they'd have another move 1, so then they can move another 1, 1. And then turn 4 would be here, and then move 2, so on and so forth. That's how movement works in the game. So like I said, so the turn order goes around like a double helix. Passing. There are different ways of passing the passing disc. You can just do a straight pass from, say, like there to there. That's just a straight up pass, nothing in the way, make a straight pass. Or you can make a pass to a moving object. So you can have this one moving, 1, 2, pass it to there, 3. So this object can moving. Or you can both be moving. You can go 1, 2, 3, pass it to there. Or you could say pass it to there, then move this figure right up to there. So the pass doesn't have to be involved in the play or in the movement, but those are the different ways of passing. You can also make indirect passes. So for example, let's say this figure was here. You could pass to this knight via this. So you would pass, it would deflect off there and go straight to there. And then this one could move. And so all the indirect passes, there's a chart for indirect passes, what's allowed and what isn't allowed. And just take a look at those for when you decide to use passing in your game. And you can also pass off of the wall. So for example, if you were there, you could pass, bounce it off the wall, and go right to there. You can even combo that with an indirect pass, but you can't make 2-line passes. So you can't pass from this zone to this zone, no matter what you do in the middle. You can pass from this zone to this zone, and you can pass from this zone to this zone, but it has to be two different plays. Checking. So one of the actions you can take in your turn is checking. So if you're on defense, and say you want to get the disc pass, what you can do is you have a turn 2, you have a move 3, 1, 2. Check this figure here. So the checked figure goes back to the D space behind center. If there's already a pawn on the D space, then you just put it behind it. And you still have one more movement, so you can still move one more. And you can't be checked back off this disc until the next trick. So you have to wait for the trick to go around. Shot on goal. So to take a shot on goal, basically you have to have, unless you're playing the striker card, to strike your card, you can get a shot on goal from anywhere in the defensive zone, if that card is played on that turn. Otherwise, you have to get your pawn into the scoring zone, that's these 5 squares, with the disc. Now, so for this play, we'll say the play is a pass. Oops. It goes from there, deflects off that figure, goes to that figure. This is a move 3, so he moves 1, 2 into the zone and gets a shot on goal. Now the way it does a shot on goal is it puts together its best 3-card poker hand. So right now, and you can see by the chart here, this tells you the rank of the poker hands and the rank of the suits. Because they're only 3-card poker hands, you could have ties. So the suits are ranked as well. So basically your highest card of the highest ranked suit is the one that will win the trick or win the goal. So the best hand they have is a flush. So they're going to play their flush for the shot on net. It's going this way. And to try and save the shot, their best bet is probably 2 aces, but they probably know they're not going to win. So their best bet is actually just to play a weak hand and then save their good hands for when they get shots in them. So they play this one, which is basically just a high card 10 versus a flush. So that's a goal. So the yellow team has a goal. And once the hand is over, so when you get a shot on net, you take a coin and you put it on the cards so we'll say we got a shot on net here. Put the coin on your card just so you know who the next turn. That's turn 2, so you know that turn 3 is the next turn. And so the cards involved in the shot get discarded from the game. So if this was a save, then you would put the yellow team back here, and the blue team or turquoise team will get one free pass from anywhere in the defense, anywhere from this in the shootout lane, so they can pass it here. So let's say they decide, oh, I'll just pass it to here. That's one free turn, and then you go on with the game. Well, it was a goal. Since it was a goal, what would happen now is you'd pull all your players back so that all the yellows will go into D's. All the greens will go into O spaces, and you'd start again from turn 3 because since the coin is right there. Fouls. Okay, so there are two types of fouls in the game. There's a foul in the game. So basically what a foul is a checking foul. So let's say it was yellow's turn and it was set up like this. So right now you can notice, okay, so this guy's gonna get a shot on net unless I do something about it. So what the yellow player can do is come in and check that player. That goes back to there, and that's a foul. And so if you get a foul, so your foul card will be turned up like this. It should be turned up like this when you begin the game. And when you get a foul, just turn it over, and that's a penalty. Now, if you get another foul, you'll turn it over, and you'll have to take one of your pawns out of the game for the rest of the game, for the whole rest of the game. It's called a banish. Now, the other kind of foul is a trick-taking foul. So let's say we played out this hand here. Turn 1 led with the 4 spades, jack, clubs, and then turn 3 played the queen of spades. So queen of spades is winning a trick. So team 1 will lead the next trick. Turn 3 will lead the next trick. But say team 2 really wanted to lead. Well, they could take the lead. And the way they take the lead is basically they commit a foul. That's trick-taking lead. So what they'll do is they'll turn the card over. And they aren't separate fouls. So you get 2 fouls in the game. And it could be, both of them could be trick-taking, or both of them could be checking, or it could be one could be checking, one could be trick-taking. But either way, it's the same way. The first foul is a penalty. The second foul is a banish. And you lose a pawn from the game. And when you take the lead, you can lead from either one of your 2 turn spaces. End of the trick. So at the end of the trick, the team 1 or the team that won the trick will take two cards. So let's say, well, we said team 1 won the trick, so they choose these 2 cards. They'll put one into their shoot and save hand and one into their shootout deck. And then team 2 will do the same thing. Oh, so that was supposed to go there, sorry. One will go there, and one will go there. And that's just do it on trick, and then you just start the next trick. And if you decide to take the foul to take the lead, you do it after you choose the cards. End of the game. So the game ends when either one person gets 4 goals, or you finish playing all your cards. So like I said, each player has 9 cards, so the game is 9 rounds. If you decide to play the game as 2 halves, that's 2 9-round halves, then the game will end after 18 cards, or someone scores 7 goals. Shootout. So if the game ends in a tie, you'll have a shootout. So if you play one game of 9 rounds, then you'll be putting your cards in each round. You'll put one card into the shootout deck, and so therefore at the end of the game, you'll have 9 cards in your. And so for shootout, what you'll do is you'll make 3 card hands, and you'll designate them as shot 1, shot 2, and shot 3. And I already organized these off camera, so you'll organize your hands. You don't just randomly put them out. And now if you're playing 2 halves, then the first game you won't need the shootout deck, but you'll still put cards in the shootout deck just to manage your cards. But you won't use them in the game. And then in the second half of the game, you'll use the shootout deck. And again, I already organized these hands off camera, so that's 3 card poke hands. So shot 1, shot 2, and shot 3. Flip them over at the same time. So shot 1, team 2 has 3 jacks. Team 1 has a straight flush. So team 1 wins. Shot 2. Team 2 has a flush. And team 1 has a king high flush. So what that means Because after 2 shots, team 1 would have won. It wouldn't have to go to shot 3. But let's say it was the other way around. Let's say this was there. And team 1 just had a pair of 10s. Then team 2 would have won this one. Flip that over. And we would have to go to shot 3. So this is for all the marbles. Whoever wins shot 3 wins the game. So team 2 has 2 9s. And team 3 has a king high flush. So team 1 will have won the game. Won the shootout and won the game. Illegal offense, illegal defense, and game length. So the only real illegal defense, illegal offense is basically you can't have more than 2 of your players in the offensive zone. You can't have more than 1 of your players in the defensive zone. And you can't let your pawns camp in the scoring zone for more than 1 trick. So if you play this first card, say the 3, and you moved into the 3, you could leave it there for the 2, 3, 4. But if you don't get a shot on net, then at the end of the trick, you have to put it back to the defensive space. If you get a shot on net, then it'll get rearranged anyway. But you can't just leave it there for the whole game. It just can, as long as it can stay there as 1 trick. And those are illegal offenses, illegal offenses, and illegal defenses. And I talked a bit about game length. Like I said, you can play 1 game of 9 rounds, or you play 2, or play the game as 2 halves. And for the first half, you'd put cards into the shootout deck, but you wouldn't use it. It'd be more just for managing cards and maybe hate drafting. And in the second half, you'd use it for the shootout deck. So that's how you play Rezbol. If you decide to give it a go, I would ask that you use the Board Game Geek website to give me feedback and maybe play the other contestants' games. And I just want to thank you for watching, and I hope that you'll enjoy my game. And have a great day.